Well, hello again everybody. It is still March the 21st, the first day of spring, but what a different afternoon it is to the morning. The wind has blown away the rain clouds and the sun has come out. I know Beaky's around somewhere because I promised him that our next wildlife watch would be about worms, and he couldn't miss that one, as worms are one of his favourite treats. So first thing I need to do is actually find some, and then we'll see if Beaky appears. So I'm just going to dig down into this soil near the camera. So I'm going to put some soil into this pot first because we want the worms to be comfortable, don't we? Oh, there was one there.
Oh, there you are. Hello, Mrs. Waters, what are you doing?
Well, Beaky, I've just collected these. Can you see? Have they all disappeared already?
What is it?
Well, in there are some worms for you to have a look at for our wildlife watch. Okay? And they've disappeared very quickly back into the soil.
Do cats like worms, Mrs. Waters?
No, they don't. I don't know why Buffy's here. She just loves you, I think.
Well, I love worms. Can we have a look?
Yeah, we need to have a poke around, okay?
All right, I'll do it.
Shall I pick it up so we can see how long it is? This is a very long worm. Worms, look at that one, are usually between 6 and 9 centimetres. Well, I think that one's probably about 15. What do you already know about worms?
Well, I know I like to eat them. Yum, yum.
Yes, but what else do you know?
They're wiggly.
Yes.
They live in the soil.
Yes. Anything else?
Not really. Can you tell me something about worms, Mrs. Waters?
I can, yes. Did you know that a worm has no legs, no eyes, no arms, no nose?
Really? How does it see then? Can it taste things?
Actually, I think it can. Now, do you know, Beaky, that a worm breathes oxygen like we do, but it doesn't have any lungs either.
What are lungs?
Well, they're like the big balloons inside us that keep the air in.
How does it get its oxygen then?
Well, it breathes through its skin.
Does it? Flo, shush. I'm learning about worms.
It's impossible for a worm to drown. A worm can live in water for quite a while. It actually likes it in there because it's wet. So long as it can soak up some oxygen through its skin, it'll be fine.
How does the worm move, Mrs. Waters?
Well, let's have a look, Beaky. Can you see there? Well, a worm is made up of lots of different segments. It doesn't have any legs, but it does have some little bristles, and each segment has got 4 little bristles. Now, when a worm wants to move, it has to use 2 different muscles and its bristles. It grips the soil with the bristles on the back end of the worm, and then it stretches. It has one set of muscles that help it to stretch. So it stretches out as far as it can go, and then it grips with the front muscles, the front bristles, sorry, and it lets go with the back, and then it uses its other set of muscles to squash itself back up so it can move along in that way. Beaky, I can't tell what you're saying.
Does a worm have a skeleton?
No, it doesn't. A worm is called an invertebrate. It doesn't have any bones at all.
Oh, are there some other names for worms?
There are lots of different kinds of worms. Let's see if we can name some of them. It's called a phyllannelid, or a nematode, and there are so many different kinds. Let's have a look at my list down here. There are flatworms, acorn worms, velvet worms, spoon worms, goblet worms, jaw worms, horsehair worms. Oh, what else have we got? Ribbon worms, horseshoe worms, thorny-headed worms. I bet they're funny.
I wouldn't like to eat a thorny-headed worm.
No, I'm sure you wouldn't. Some worms are flat and some worms are round, so flatworms and roundworms. There are 6,000 different kinds. I bet you'd like to taste them all, wouldn't you? Yes, I thought you would.
How do the worms eat, Mrs. Waters?
Well, you know, Beaky, they don't have any teeth, but they do have very strong muscles in their mouths, and they're so strong that they can pull dead leaves into their burrows for them to eat through.
Gosh, don't think I'd like to be bitten by a worm.
Well, you can't really be bitten by a worm because it doesn't have any teeth, just strong muscles. It wouldn't hurt you.
Oh. They're a bit wriggly. They've all got together, haven't they?
Yes, I think they're probably a bit uncomfortable in there because it's too light and they can sense the light through their skin. And on their skin they've got a mucus that helps them to breathe, and if the worm ever dries out it will suffocate, which wouldn't be very nice, would it? So they're trying to get back into the damp, dark soil, which is where they like to be.
Right. Well, I know where I like them to be.
Where's that?
In my tummy.
Do you know, Beaky, that the biggest worm ever found was 22 feet long? Imagine 22 rulers all laid end to end, and that would be how long the biggest worm ever found was.
Wow! Don't think I could eat that one.
Don't think you could.
Do you think we should put the worms back in the soil now?
We should, Beaky, because a worm likes certain conditions, just like you do. A worm likes it to be cold, well, not too cold, but it likes it to be damp and dark, and it likes to have the food in its habitat where it lives. So they're really great for the garden. Flo, shush. She is a noisy dog.
I think I can see now why worms are so good for the garden and why gardeners and farmers like them. And birds. I think I'm going to go and eat one. Is it good for me?
Of course, Beaky, it's full of goodness for you. It's an ideal food for a bird. I think that's enough for Wildlife Watch today. I hope you've learned a lot about worms.
I have. I'm going to eat one now.
Well, do you know, Beaky, I think it would be a bit cruel to let you eat one now, so I think we should let these go back in the garden.
OK. I'm full anyway.
Yep, we need them to help to keep the plants healthy by digging away and eating all those old bits of leaves and roots.
Just before we go, I've heard that if you chop a worm in half, both ends will live.
Well, that's not true, Beaky. The end with the head on would, but not the other end.
If you chop me in the middle, would I live?
No, Beaky, you wouldn't.
Oh.
That was a silly question.
I knew the answer, really.
It's fascinating, though, isn't it, learning about these creatures?
It is. What's our next Wildlife Watch going to be?
Well, I'm not sure. What would you like to do?
I'll think about it and let you know.
All right, Beaky. See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you for Wildlife Watch next time.